Bicycles invented in 1817. People in 1818. Man, the X Games was just so much better back then. I knew how stupid that phrase was gonna come out of my mouth, but I still just wasn't prepared for it. Wish we could just go back to the old days where people were just hovering like this. It's magnificent. Elon Musk when he gets asked to pay his fair share of tax. Be careful, this is exactly how you get F5'd up there on the surface of Mars. I wonder if he's gonna allow some pro wrestling up there when we establish the first colony. Biology teacher, today we are going to dissect frogs. Girls, ew, those poor frogs. Versus the French kid. Oh yeah, meat's back on the menu. You boys. I never really thought about that. Like, wouldn't the equivalent of biology class in France just be like if in the US they just brought out some fried chicken? The real Chad doesn't exist. Kid catches a home run ball or whatever, gives it to the girl, but wait a minute, catches it in that glove, and then he uses the other. Oh, tricked her. This video is at least 5 to 10 years old. You know this kid's out there just slaying. When you break something and fix it just enough so the next person to touch it thinks they broke it. This is exactly how I got through my first job as a waiter. I became a genius being able to just barely fix something like this and moving on. Both Hilter and Satan, looking back at someone far scarier. Having a boyfriend with anxiety is lots of fun because you can tease around with other guys, then make him apologize for calling you out. Try it and call him possessive and stuff. He'll actually believe you and even blame himself when you. Oh my god. Person is so evil. How does anyone lack this much self-awareness? You steal stuff because of a TikTok trend. I steal stuff because I work for the British Museum. We are not the same. I'm only joking. Or am I? Dear passengers, if you look down below, you can see the beautiful landscape of Bosnia. I'm gonna take a little bit of credit for this meme. I just saw this image and related it to Bosnia not that long ago. So you're welcome, Bosnians. Putting you guys on the map with the mines and all. What a good young man! I wonder what respectable profession he will choose to pursue in the future. I don't know, with a name like Nikocado Avocado, I would assume he'd be some sort of health nut. Probably really into like diets and stuff. When you finally understand the difference between the UK, England, and Britain, this is seriously my life's goal. The whole channel's goal is just to tell everyone the difference here. I know there's like a huge portion of people that have seen me bring this up too many times, but the problem is every time I do bring it up, there are always at least a dozen people that are like, oh, I didn't even know that. Americans, when people use kilometers per hour instead of pounds of junk food eaten per gunshot. Okay, this, unironically, except with height, like when someone tells me their height in centimeters, it's so frustrating because I gotta Google it and do the freedom translation. What a cute little baby. I wonder what he will grow up to be. Anyone else feel like he looks like an artist? However, a true artist doesn't define themselves based off of other opinions. Just because you got rejected from art school doesn't mean you should give up on your dream. Imagine if Hilter just wasn't a quitter. I said, we not writing today. He legit seppuku'd himself because he did not want to go. There is no way this lady wasn't seriously injured. Thanos snaps, cannibals enjoying their meal. Legit out here just vaping all of a sudden. Big fans, I can see. That must have been a weird couple of seconds. I was just eating this guy's arm and now all of a sudden I'm smoking hookah. Welcome to a British pub. We've got single mother with kid in tow, malnourished football fan, guy who sinks a pint in one gulp, and finally the university student descending into alcoholism. You can literally see the timeline as it plays out. He starts like this. He becomes this. After years, he eventually becomes this, and he's the reason for her. When you take the wrong turn while driving to Rome, but realize all roads lead to Rome. There's literally no such thing as taking a wrong turn to Rome. Eventually you'll get to Rome, it just depends on how long it might take. That's actually how the Romans survived without Google Maps back in the day. They didn't need it, they knew eventually they'd get to their spot. What the dog doing? Getting ready for the next crusade. He's been waiting for centuries, but when the time comes, he will be prepared to strike. Me looking at Legoland, who's always wanted to visit it as a kid. Lone adults who are not accompanied by a child are not permitted. Is this a real rule that Legoland has? You seriously can't go to Denmark without a child? Oh, I don't think that is true, or maybe in certain Legolands. I was gonna say that's just bad business decisions. You know what? I'm gonna say it. This year's Spooktober was disappointing. I thought that was just me, and I'm not talking about just like internet memes. I'm talking about just in general, October I thought was disappointing. Halloween is like my favorite time of year, and I'm just like, this is it? This wasn't as nearly as crazy as I needed it to be. Ancient Egyptians, when they build so good that some future humans think it was aliens. That is probably the most Chad thing of all time. Like, your design was so so perfect. People refuse you actually did it. You had some sort of advanced technology. I've also probably not helped too much with this thinking. Time traveler moves a chair. The tank man in the Tiananmen Square. How do you like it? And that day, he saved the square. He defeated all the tanks just like this. We need a plan so they stop thinking I'm a robot. Maybe speak like a human? Don't make robot gestures. Put barbecue sauce on your bookshelf. And that's the one he went with, of course. Yo, Mark kind of looking swole right here. That boy juicing? Or maybe his arms just received a software update. Me when I'm thirsty and realize my friends are 70% water. Just be careful. You don't want Thanos to snap right as you put them in your mouth. Virginia man arrested for having Minecraft worlds that were exact replicas of classified US military bases. There's like some 12-year-olds out there that know the exact layout of some secret bases. They're gonna get recruited by North Korea, I just know it. It's only a game. Why you have to be mad? This man just gave some of the most sensitive intel to some Minecraft players. They're all gonna grow up to be super soldiers now. Me makes fun of America. Them. At least we're not the most locked up place in the world. Me cries. Wait, who are we talking about specifically? Are we talking about locked up like prison? I thought we threw a lot of people in prison. Is it Australia? Because it's all a prison. Either that or North Korea. Warner Bros. New fighting game will have a wide cast of characters. We have Batman, Harley Quinn, Finn and Jake from Adventure Time, Shaggy, Rick from Rick and Morty, Gandalf? What is this? The most epic battle possible is now reality. I actually cannot think of anything cooler. Gandalf the Grey might be able to stop a Balrog from the deep, but Shaggy will never listen to You Shall Not Pass. People who call it math, people who call it mathematics, people who call it fun. There is nothing more terrifying in this world than when people call math fun. Or in other words, I guess you could just rephrase this to successful people. I'd rather be a hobo on the street. When National Geographic take a shooting break, yes, the actors can finally come outside and just relax for a little bit, get a little bit of playtime in. I'm just glad to see, like, finally we have a production where everyone isn't method acting. Like, I know that, like, everyone thinks the most hardcore method actors come from National Geographic films. But turns out they're just people like us. They're not that crazy. Doctor, I fixed your broken back. Here's the bill. Car declines. Doctor. Just... No, not me also dressed as Rey Mysterio. The nice thing is, you re-broke his back, and you probably also gave him a concussion on the way down. When you screw up the equation, but the answer is still correct. This is annoying because I feel like I should be given extra credit just how lucky I got. The math teacher would never give me that many points, even though I got the right answer, just because I didn't show my work. When your sniper accuracy is still as good as the WW2 day, laughs in Soviet Russia. It's so terrifying. I guess these are referred to as babushkas, an old woman or grandma. All old women or grandma in Soviet Russia or Poland just used to snipe for fun. We have Germany, France, Sweden, the Netherlands, Turkey, Italy, and Portugal all saying Annas, looking at the UK and Americans like pineapple. You know us, we always gotta be different. Glad to see the UK are finally on our sides. It's usually just like America that randomly just has to be different. Comfort, 20%, danger, 1. Comfort, 100%, but danger, also 100. Being attacked from behind by a ghost like. This is so funny because it absolutely has to do with some sort of evolutionary reasons. There's no way you can defend yourself from like a lion approaching when your like back is turned. It's weird how this stuff's still ingrained in us. Some people don't realize how big galaxies are, so I added a banana for reference. Let's see if we can find that banana. It's gotta be somewhere in here. I think I see it. It's somewhere in the middle. Oh boy. Same exact energy. Nikocado and Bell D back before they entered their Joker arcs. Hello and Guten Tag. Reddit is coming to Germany. Here are all the epic Redditors hiding from the Germans. I already thought the Germans had taken over this website. Well, good. Maybe they can finally restore it to its former glory. I guess if you think Reddit ever had a former glory. Who uses Greek letters? Mathematicians in red, physicists in orange, and then the actual Greeks in blue. No, I'm pretty sure the Greeks just made up that fantasy language. They don't actually use it. They just did it for the lulz, basically. Being an island, being a country, being a continent, and then being an island, a country, and a continent. Well, to most, I think a lot of people are redefining their continent status. Let's see what Google thinks. Google is sticking with the Australian definition. Ooh, although nationalgeographic.org is saying Australia/Oceania. Here's the ultimate decider, the all-trustworthy Wikipedia. They're saying Australia, however, they are grouping the islands with Australia. Most island countries and territories in the Pacific Ocean are grouped together with the continent of Australia to form Oceania. So this is Australia, yet this stuff isn't Australia. This is Yeah, not. Continents are just weird, man. Some people love to group Americas together. Usually those are people from the Eastern Hemisphere, though. USA is the best country and everyone wants to live here. No, you're wrong. European countries are better. Then we have these Chads. The Aurora, Penguins, and Peace. I should live in Antarctica. And you know, the greatest thing about living in Antarctica is that you only get to live there for like 10 seconds. And then you freeze to death. That's really how you can pump up those tourism numbers. Okay, so here we have WW2 veterans assaulting an orphan after murdering his parents. No, I think they wanted you to explain it badly. That seems like an accurate description. What else do you think was happening here? Tell me what country this flag represents, and I will tell you your social credit score. Hint, hint, it's probably gonna be in the negatives. Trump handing this man a piece of paper, him looking at the piece of paper. If the earth is flat, why don't we flip it like a pillow to get the fresh side and stop global warming? Ah, you didn't think about that, huh? The solution is so simple. How did no one think of this? Thanks for fixing my leg, doctor. No problem. Should I pay something? Nope. Laughs in European Union. Yeah, this is how you get Americans to cry. Weebs on their way to fall in love with a piece of Japanese drawing be like. Crazy how powerful some of these drawings have become. Japan's literally gonna get a cultural victory because of this. Heaven is hotter than hell. What? The Bible says that hell has lakes of sulfur, which would require a max temperature of 440 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the Bible says of heaven that the light of the sun shall be sevenfold as the light of 7 days, which calculates to 525 degrees Celsius. This meme format always gets me to actually say what Walter is saying to Jesse here. It's like, what are we talking about? We have an oofer. Any last words? Me. Mercy. The oofer. Don't say it with that French accent. It sounds like you're saying thank you in French. Me. Did I stutter? It's about time. Been waiting for this day for far too long. Wow, The Mandalorian was great. I thought Disney Plus wasn't available in your country. Ah, you forget. I am a pirate of the high seas. I have no country. Really glad people still sail the seas still. The Ariel Sea. The Ariel Sea was 1989 to 2014. I can't believe we're seeing a political compass meme getting this. They're really going places now. In Europe, it's called a lift. Well, in America, it's called an elevator. I guess we were just raised differently. Oh, I thought this was like a weird UK dad America joke. Yeah, elevator. I see. Okay, haha. Americans telling me how they are good in almost every sport. Me, why don't you play cricket then? Okay, yeah, I'm now gonna go pout. Probably threaten some sort of nuclear destruction on somebody. Why don't we play cricket? I know that's like really big in South Asia, but we don't even try. Zeus gets bad, and while passing by a farm, some random cow minding its own business. Honestly, if you're just like a living creature, maybe not even a living creature, just stay away from Zeus. You never know what Zeus is gonna do. When you beat up a kid at school so good that the principal gives you a week of vacation. This literally made no sense to me. All the worst kids got the free vacations while I never had that. I literally got beat up and I didn't get the vacation. Britishers, when people use kilometers per hour instead of liters of tea drunk per artifacts stolen divided by the number of colonized nations. Angry tea drinking. I really wish I knew more like the regional parts of the United Kingdom. Like which ones are the really fancy Britishers? That like this is the most anger they'll express because they have to stay proper. But then there's the other British people that are like, you what, mate? And they'll like take out their 15th century sword. Cats with a time machine. Humans still work for us. LMAO, cool. Dogs with a time machine. Help. I cannot breathe. What the frick is that? That's gotta be like horrifying. Imagine if we had a time machine and we got to see future humans and we're like just these overweight creatures that can barely breathe. Wait a second. Okay, SE and then 2 letters. Okay. ND. No. 2 L's. Yeah, okay. Serve the Soviet Union and share. Yes, because the 2 spots meant these 3 letters going there. That makes sense. NASA now versus NASA 50 years ago. Well, there's kind of a key element that NASA doesn't have anymore, and that's no Germans. And big thanks to the October patrons, Majestic Unicorn, Papi Druwu, I Love Marks, Drew's Thick Breaks and Girlfriend, Drew's Argentinian Grandpa, AryanAfterHours, BringBackPolandball,
Alfonso M6,
Barnsky W,
Dalton D,
Full Send Nic,
Ivan Lima,
Jesse C,
LuxembourgLover,
Max Cooper,
McBlorf,
Mind Brothers 999X2,
and Stormtrooper 501.
Thank you.